Good afternoon. Back on trail after 2 nights in Lake City. 1-0 day. Stayed at the River Fork campground, which I highly recommend. It was a nice, relaxing break, and my ankle feels a lot better, so I have a little more confidence that I can continue. I took the 12 o'clock free shuttle from the hiker center up to Spring Creek Pass. Started hiking a little while ago. Only 2 miles in. I'm only going to go like 9 miles, which is before the next big climb up to a huge, long plateau above 12,000 feet. It's too late in the day to start up there. So I'm continuing up the trail. There's Magic up there. Alex from Germany. His trail name's Alex. Bill from Ohio. His trail name's Bill. And they're all filtering water. I've got plenty of water, so I'm just going to continue past this one. The next one is about 6 miles up, but I should be fine. I've actually driven through the San Juan Mountains once. It was almost 20 years ago on a family vacation. We drove from Durango up through Ouray and Silverton, down through Telluride. It's a spectacular driving route, and hiking through those same mountains should just be really fantastic. End of day 26. Did about 9.5 miles today. Didn't start hiking till 1 o'clock maybe. I'm camped way up on the ridge at 12,000 feet. And by doing all that climbing, it should make tomorrow a little bit easier. Tomorrow will be almost all above 12,000 feet with a lot of up and down. It's going to be a tough climb, tough day. Bill from Ohio, he's camped right over here. Hello. We have a nice spot. It's going to be an early night, and then early morning, and then a big day tomorrow, we hope. It's a beautiful spot. Most of the people on the shuttle from Lake City camped about 500 feet down below, but by doing that 500-foot climb, it'll be much easier tomorrow. So here's the ridge that I'll climb up to tomorrow, and then that long, long walk across the Continental Divide again, one of those days. And I think the sunset might be pretty nice. So that's it for tonight. I think it's July 30th. And this was an epic campsite. It was beautiful. It didn't get that cold last night, even up here at 12,000 feet. The stars and the moon, it's a crescent moon, were amazing. Wasn't that windy? It was just great. I wouldn't want to be here in bad weather. Getting ready to start the day, getting on the trail. It's a little late. It's 7:30. And this is going to be a long, real long, above tree line walk. I think it's like literally 30 miles, or at least 25. I won't do that whole thing today. So it's really calm and peaceful and beautiful. And I'm going to start the hike for the day. Coming up on the Colorado Trail high point. There it is, 13,271 feet. It's just spectacular, beautiful. Amazing. Everything they said about the San Juan Mountains is correct. Looks like the best part of the trail. Really? I wrote it. Hey.
Down in this valley here. This set of moose. That was another set of moose before. This is
It's not all the same one. Just they follow you.
So I've arrived at roughly the spot I want to camp. That's Cataract Lake right there. It's a beautiful location, surrounded by these beautiful mountains. A lot of comments in far out saying moose frequent these lakes. Wouldn't mind seeing that. There's some other people camping here. You can see tents over there. My tent is right here. I don't love this spot. There's no protection from wind, and there is quite a bit of wind now. And it's out in the middle of a meadow. And I always get a lot of condensation when I'm in a meadow. But it's a beautiful spot. Good morning. July 31st. I guess that's my 28th day on trail. And I'm sitting here in the sun trying to warm up. When I woke up this morning, there was frost on my tent. And it was freezing cold. Just freezing. I got up at, I don't know, 5:45, 20 minutes to 6. Just as I was going to bed, it was starting to get dark. 2 moose showed up at the lake, a male and a female. The female headed down to the lake. The male was standing maybe 100 yards away from me, and he looked like he was staring right at me. And then in the middle of the night, I was woken up by a visit from one of the moose. I'm not sure which one, but it was scary as hell. I could hear him sniffing outside the tent. I could hear the hooves pawing the ground, going around my tent. I did not step out. I did not say anything. I just waited for the moose to leave, and he or she finally did leave. I don't even know what time it was. I was just waiting for the morning to come. I guess in retrospect, a fun experience, but it wasn't at the time. So it's about 7:30. I've gone a few miles. I'm hoping to do a big day today. I would like to do 20 miles. If I can do that, then I'll only have about 8 miles into Molas Lake tomorrow, where I have a resupply package waiting for me. So let's see if I can do 20 miles. It's about 4 o'clock and I finally made it to the end of this 30-mile above tree line section. It's segments 22 and 23. I may even be on 24 now, I'm not sure. Some people say this is the best view in the entire Colorado Trail. Not the view in back of me that you're seeing right now. I'll show you the view in the other direction looking that way. It is spectacular. So this is the view that was in back of me that you were just seeing, and that's pretty spectacular, right? Look at this drop off here, this valley, these mountains out in the distance, just beautiful. But now I'll show you this view this way. There's the trail going down. There's a whole bunch of switchbacks I have to go down. That's where I'll start down in a minute. And here's the view in this direction. Just amazing with those lakes up on that plateau and then those cliffs, the mountains to the left. What a beautiful view. I hate to leave it, but it's 4 o'clock and I've got to go. All right, found a campsite. It's a nice one. So I'm going to set up here for the night. Just a little bit off trail. It's like mile 399.6, I think, something like that. So I'm going to set up right now. It's already 10 minutes of 7. Just going to cook dinner and go to bed. An exhausting day, but a great day. Beautiful. That's a beautiful section. So we'll see you tomorrow. Last night the campsite worked out great. It wasn't that cold. No condensation today. And no unwanted nighttime visitors. I've got about 8 miles to Molas Lake campground, where I sent a resupply package. So I'm going to go pick that up. Maybe get some lunch or at least some ice cream. And then I'd like to do about another 8 miles. I passed the 400-mile marker just a little while ago. This is by far the longest hike I've ever been on. My previous longest was the Long Trail in Vermont, which is 273 miles. And that was 23 days. So this is 29, and I've hit 400 miles. It feels kind of close to the finish, but there's still like 85 miles left. So not that close yet. I'm climbing up the switchbacks to the Molas Lake campground now. Tough climb. Got off trail for at least a half a mile along the railroad tracks. That was dumb, but I seem to do that a lot. Add some bonus miles. This scenery is just spectacular. A beautiful walk down from the campground. The river's just beautiful. The mountains in the background. Really nice. It's about 1:30. I'm on the access trail to Molas Creek campground. I went there to pick up my resupply box and to eat a burrito, of course, and some ice cream. I also removed the tape from my ankle that Tiga had put on, and I retaped it with KT tape. I don't think I did as good a job as he did. It feels a little different, but I think it's going to be okay. I can't believe how much better it is than it was coming down from Snow Mesa, which was only 4 or 5 days ago. So that won't prevent me from getting to Durango. Maybe something else will, but I hope not. Well, just to close out the day, day 29, I found my campsite for the night. I'm at Lime Creek. It's mile 415.8, and there's supposed to be good campsites here, but I couldn't find any. It's not flat, it's lumpy. It's a beautiful spot. These beautiful pine trees, nice green meadow there, distant mountains, this big huge wall for a backdrop up here. So that's a nice location. And I guess this is gonna have to do. It'll work for the night. Good morning. A biker came by just as I was getting ready to go to bed. His name's Goonie. And he camped near me. And he had been looking for a site just up the hill. He was about to walk into the woods. He had his headlamp on, and he saw two eyes staring out at him. He didn't know exactly what it was, but he said they were pretty close together, and it could have been a mountain lion. Who knows? All I know is no mountain lion visited during the night. Right now, the trail is a beautiful woods walk cut into the steep mountainside. Sun's starting to poke out. It was cloudy last night when I went to bed, but it looks like it's going to be sunny as usual this morning with a few clouds. Hello again, it's about 9:15. I made it up to this beautiful pass, and the views are just unbelievable. These San Juans, the views are different every pass you go over. You know, yesterday was the hike with the green valleys dotted with pine trees and terraces that look beautiful. Now it's these rugged, rocky peaks. This pass doesn't appear to even have a name. They have so many beautiful passes, they don't even name them all. So here's the view that I came up this way. And then here's the pass itself, which I'm on right now. And it was cloudy before, but the sun's come out nicely now. This beautiful deep valley that I'm going to now descend into. And here's the mountain on the other side of the pass. And here's the marmot who wants me to feed him. But I'm not going to feed him. Nope, you're not going to get any food from me. You're too fat as it is.
Oh my goodness. Someone's been feeding you.
Hey, buddy, you've obviously been fed before.
Yeah, I would say so.
You're not gonna get it.
Don't eat those poles.
It will.
There's magic waiting down there at the bottom of the pass. How's it going? Cold? It's beautiful now. Lime Creek. This view's amazing too.
I like this area. This is sweet.
It is. So I climbed down from that pass, and now I'm back in beautiful pine forest. The pass actually does have a name. It's called Rolling Mountain Pass. And any pass as beautiful as that one deserves a name. This forest is really nice too. I love how it alternates from being way above tree line and then you come down into a forest, back up above tree line. Very different from that section a couple of days ago. It was all above tree line. So I made it to my tent site. And as soon as I put up the tent, I went in, I fell asleep. I didn't intend to fall asleep, but that's what happens when you hike too many miles. So, felt good. The tent's right over here. And there's a little stream right here, which is perfect. So I'm cooking dinner now. And tomorrow I'll be real close to Blackhawk Pass. It's only half a mile. And I'll start the day by going up that. Good morning. Day 31 of my hike. I'm up on top of Blackhawk Pass. I just climbed up here. It was only a half a mile from my campsite, so it didn't take long. It's about 7:15. That's Blackhawk Peak way up there, which I am not going to climb. Beautiful view over this way too. It's so green. So I've gone about 8 miles. I'm up on top of this high ridge, and those mountains out in the distance there, that's the La Plata Range. That's right outside of Durango, and the trail ends at the foothills of the La Plata Range. So I can actually see the end of the trail now. So I'm coming down the trail, minding my own business, and I come upon trail magic in the deep woods. And it's fantastic trail magic. Burgers, beers, what more do you want? Right? It's excellent trail magic.
Excellent. Perfectly fine.
It's magical.
It is really magical.
It's magical.
It absolutely is.
5-star.
This is a 5.
Thumbs up.
This is, yes. All right, hello. It's about 1 o'clock, and I just left that trail magic, which was really awesome. I spent about an hour there with a bunch of other hikers. I was actually getting ready to stop for lunch, and my lunch was going to be Ritz crackers with a Slim Jim. But instead of that, I had a cheeseburger and potato chips and 2 beers. I shouldn't have had 2, but I did. It was fantastic, and I never would have expected it because it was in this remote area only accessible by dirt roads. This is my 4th trail magic on this trail. It's a great trail for trail magic. Well, it's about 3 o'clock, and I see sun shining on the jagged peaks of the Weminuche Range, but it's raining here. Not heavy yet. Hope it doesn't get too heavy, but it started thundering around 2 o'clock, and then about 2:45, the rain started. I got a few more miles to go though. Okay, so check this out. At mile 453.4, there's a sign for a scenic overlook. There's a beautiful campsite right at the junction, nice and flat, covered by trees. So I put my stuff down there. I was going to camp there. And then I said, I'll go check out the scenic overlook. So I walked out here. It's further than I thought. It's like 0.3 miles. And the views are tremendous. But then also, I found a campsite way out here in the end that is just epic. So I'm going to take that campsite instead. You could, I suppose, camp right here. I'm sure people have. But I like this one right here. Pine needles on the ground. It's pretty flat. Has that beautiful view, protected by trees. Can't beat it for the second last night on trail. Good morning. Day 32. This should be my second last day of the trip. That sight I had last night was great. However, a storm came in just as I was getting into my tent to go to bed. Lightning, really loud thunder, and the winds. It had to be 30, 40 miles an hour. And it wasn't just a quick 20-minute thunderstorm. It went on for literally hours. So I couldn't sleep. Plus my sleeping pad, which has a leak in it, and it has had a leak for probably 10 days. Now it's just totally flat. So it's really difficult to sleep. I did get a little sleep. At 3 o'clock, I woke up and it was calm. So it must have stopped just before that. I'm heading up. I got a big climb up to 12,000 feet. It'll be the last time that I'll be at an altitude that high, because then after that, it's just a huge descent into Durango. I've gone a little over 3 miles, and guess what pops up right here in front of me? It's the Plata Range that looked so far away yesterday. I can't believe how much closer it looks now. Good afternoon. It's about 2:45, and I've done about 15.5 miles. I'd like to go another 5 or 6 miles. Hard to believe this adventure is coming to an end, but it is. I'm not really sorry about that. I'll miss it. It's been great, but I'm ready to go back home and back to real life. But I'm going to enjoy these last few miles. And then I have 2 nights in Durango. I booked a place. Fly home Wednesday. All right, made it to my campsite, 6 o'clock. The sky's been threatening, thundering all afternoon, well, the past 3 hours or so. It's sprinkling now, but nothing much. Hope it doesn't get like last night. Here's the trail. Here's my site, just off the trail. It doesn't have the epic quality of some of the other sites I've had, but I think it's perfect for the last night on trail. It's 8.5 miles from the end of the trail. I'll get up early, maybe go into Durango for breakfast. We'll see. Good night. Good morning. Day 33. When I started this hike, my goal was to complete it in 35 days. Looks like I'm going to beat that by 2 days. I slept at 9,100 feet last night. It was warm. I slept unbelievably well, even though the ground was like concrete. And my sleeping pad doesn't hold air. Woke up at 6 like I always do. And it's about 6:45 now. I have 8.5 miles to go. It's an absolutely beautiful morning, nice and warm. Didn't have to wear any of my warm layers like I usually do. Should be a fun walk. All right, I've got about 1.5 miles left. It's been a nice walk down. The vegetation's all different. There's a lot of scrub oak trees, ponderosa pines. And it's right along Junction Creek, which is off to my right. I can hear it, but I can't really see it right now. What can I say about this trail? It's difficult. It's challenging. The weather is sometimes frustrating, but it's a fantastic trail. I've loved it. Really enjoyed it. You know, I talked about anxiety at the beginning of this and various things I had anxiety about. One was altitude. That didn't bother me, which was great. Food storage from bears. I never ran into a bear, never saw one. Didn't have any problems with that. The weather, I feel really lucky. That was one of my biggest concerns, the weather. And I did get rain, everybody does. And there were 4 major big thunderstorms, but for 2 of those, I was in my tent. One was coming down from Monarch Mountain ski area. It wasn't too scary because I was below tree line, but I got soaked and freezing cold that day. And then the 4th one was up at San Luis, the saddle below San Luis Pass. That one was scary. I feel really lucky about the weather. I think I had great weather overall. My biggest fear, my biggest anxiety coming into this trail was that I wouldn't be able to do it. That was the biggest one, that I wouldn't be able to do it. And I'd have to crash and burn and go home after like 3 days. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that, but I always do. And then you get out here and you meet, everybody you meet, it seems, has done the whole Appalachian Trail or the Pacific Crest Trail or both, or the CDT. And I've done some trails, but nothing like that. This is by far the longest hike I've ever done. It's a little bit intimidating, but it's just walking and camping, somebody said. And that's what it is. You just walk and you camp. And I'll be at that sign at the end in about a mile. That'll be the end of it. Fly home Wednesday. Today's Monday. And real life begins again. Which is fine. I'm happy with that too. See my wife Judy again. My kids are out in the Sawtooth Mountains in Idaho right now. We'll be back next week, so I'll be interested to hear how that trip went. And get on with real life.